The Malayalam film industry has been hit by a Me Too storm. Every day there are new shocking revelations by both veteran actors and young artists. I'm Barkha Dutt, you're with the Mojo Story. On the program today, we'll be talking to veteran actor Radhika Sarathkumar, whose revelations about her experiences on set and in industry have created a storm that is growing every single day as new revelations emerge, as new charges, new allegations hit the headlines every single day. 17 women and counting have now registered complaints with the police task force that has been set up by the Kerala government. And this is a task force that has been set up in a very contentiously delayed set of circumstances. The HEMA committee panel that was, in a sense, ready with its report in 2019, that report has only been made public almost 5 years later, that too with 11 paragraphs redacted. The entire Cine Arts Association, led by Mohanlal, has resigned. That resignation, too, has created its own set of debates. There's a lot to talk about, so let's welcome our newsmaker to the program today. Actor Radhika Sarathkumar is with us. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your time and also for your willingness to talk about something that I know is not easy for anybody to talk about, no matter how many years pass by. Let me start by asking you to talk about the shocking revelation that you have made, which is that in vanity vans that were used by female artists, there were actually hidden cameras placed in these caravans, in these vanity vans, to try and capture nude videos of female artists, videos that were then looked at, gawked at by men on set. You actually saw men watching this video, such a video, with your own eyes, and you were aghast. Can you talk about this revelation? It has really shaken the core, I think, of the industry.
Barka, first, let me thank you for having me on your show, and it's a pleasure talking to you. Uh, what I had said was about which happened in my sets, I think, a few years ago. I had finished shooting and I was just walking towards my caravan, and I saw a few men sitting and laughing and giggling about. So I knew one person because it was I'm not very fluent with the language. I saw a person who knew Tamil and I called him and I asked him, what are they watching and laughing about so much? They said they have, and I saw that it was a very inappropriate video because in the passing, I just glanced at it and I said, what is this? And they said, no, it is of women changing clothes in the caravan. I was completely taken aback. I was shocked beyond words. I said, what are you saying? And I was livid. I was so angry. I come from the 80s, from that time of films, where we had no place to change clothes, or we had no vanity vans, no toilets. I used to change behind trees, inside behind bushes, inside a generator van. And we've had a lot of difficulties in that so-called glamorous time of Tamil cinema. And we used to do it because that's what the situation was. So now when we have our own privacy, and I found that invaded, it really got to me. I made such a big scene with them. I don't think they understood what I spoke, because anyway, so once I said delete those videos, and I said, but I know that it had no purpose, because I know somebody has sent it to them and they were like saying, no, no, these, and it was some older videos of somebody. It was not the
Mhm.
present. But name the actors, it's there. And I was so angry. I told, see, at that time, of course, I have to reinstate this, because even Mohanlal and Dileep, I had done only their films in that
Yeah.
particular span of time. So people were thinking that it was one of them. So I said, look, they were not on the sets. And it was a time with me, with these guys, where I would only question the production manager who hires this caravan.
Mhm.
And I called him and said, what is this? What is the safety for it? But more than all this, I think my fear was, should I get into the caravan now to change my clothes?
Mhm. Now,
And uh,
it's
it,
just
I used to send my
shocking.
assistant to check it out every time. We have these things where they say go with your camera, look around to see if you have a light or whatever behind clocks or what. This was happening for some time, and whoever the actors whom I know, whom I met or whatever, I should tell them, please be careful when you go into the caravan.
Yeah.
And they all were
Can I
aware
say,
there could be something like that. They're saying, yeah, it is happening in shopping malls, it's happening in dressing rooms, so it could happen here.
yeah, listening to you first, I think young women today have to appreciate what women before them have gone through. The fact that you didn't have bathrooms, changing rooms, you had to
I
hide
tell
in
them,
generator
I
vans. It's
tell that to
crazy.
him. I tell that to them
Crazy.
every day, where they come with so many assistants and they come with the entourage. I said, guys, we had nobody.
Yeah.
Even my costumes were designed by me. I
Yeah.
didn't even have a costume designer for that. So, and I still do my own makeup because I don't like anyone else doing my makeup. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, you've had to fight really hard. But I want to
yes,
ask you something. You said that everybody has assumed that the movie on which you saw, the set on which I should say, the set on which you saw this terrible thing happening, men huddling around looking at a nude of one of their colleagues from from the industry,
changing
filmed
clothes. Yeah.
illicitly, changing clothes. You have said Mohanlal and Dileep were not on set, and you blame the production manager. But you have not named which film it was and who the production or who the producer was.
No, I
Why
think
have you
even
not? Why have you not done that?
see, even Mohanlal asked me that question. He said, was it on my set? Because they all
Yeah.
treated me very well. Please understand, I'm also a producer. I also run production. I run a production setup. Run a company. See, the main person in charge of this is the production people who get this caravan. They hire them.
Yeah.
I, I can't blame the hero or anybody on the sets. This is, they are not to blame. It is the production which has to take place, and it is those low minded people in the caravans who are doing this and giving it out to people to watch. So you have to
Hmm.
understand, the crux of it is not them, it's the safety, is what I'm talking about. The safety which has to be ensured for all the people, whether it is in a film artist or whether it is a model or whether it is in a hospital or a college. The safety has to be given by the person in place there.
Yeah.
Even few days
No.
ago, I saw that in Andhra, in a hostel, they had this in the washroom, some cameras.
Hmm.
Once, I think one of the big shops here, a friend of ours came from London and they had gone to get some clothes, and they realized that something was wrong. And because she's come from London and she was a little bit more sharp and aware, and she called my husband at about 9 o'clock in the night. She said, I feel, uncle, I'm shivering. I don't know what to do. So Sharat just took the car, went there. Oh my God, it was a big scene. It was a very
Hmm.
big scene. He really took them, called the police, handed them over. It was, these things happening everywhere. But what I'm saying, gave my voice for, or why I spoke about it, is I want, when the Hema committee came out, and they had so many things which they said they
Hmm.
wanted, had to be
Yeah.
protected. I think this is
Yeah.
also one, is where we work, the harassment side apart. They also,
Yeah.
where we work, the safety has to be there. They have to be given rooms to change. Women, I mean, forget about us big artists. We get everything what we ask for. The others, the second in line, third in line, they are really sufferers. They are the
Yeah.
real sufferers.
Ma'am, you say that you blame the producers, and that point is well taken. But there's a perception among many of the Kerala women actors, particularly in the women's collective, that the big stars have been silent for too long. Mohanlal spoke now, Mamooty spoken now, but all these years nobody was speaking. Dileep himself is caught up in a set of allegations by Bhavana Menon. I'm naming Bhavana because she's given an interview to me on record. My question is this: as a veteran who had to fight so many battles, break down so many walls to do what you did, are you disappointed that even some of your friends, you may have affection for them, otherwise they may, nobody spoke all these years when women were fighting? The Hema committee report has been sitting in cold storage for 4.5 years. Nobody spoke.
Barkha, till today, nobody is speaking. And I would just like to say this one word: your silence will be mistaken.
Yeah.
It would be taken in a different context. I think
Yeah.
it's time. That's why in all my interviews, I keep saying, please come. We don't need to do it in the glare of media or public or whatever. It is
Yeah.
our fraternity. These are women who have worked with you. These are women, maybe you don't know them
Yeah.
personally. Just come and say, we are here. Okay. Let's do something to protect your lives. And call the producer council. Sit with them. Call the unions. They must be having a lot of complaints. The dancers union, the assistant directors. Call them. Keep a good setup where you have. Let me tell you, it's not that I'm complaining about the law. When I feel now that they are moving fast in Kerala, I see them in a flurry of activities. What I am saying is, let's talk to the government to give us a fast track for these cases,
Mhm.
not only to us, to now the Prime Minister has also said that
Mhm.
any abuse against women or children should be fast tracked, should be given a closure quickly, which is so welcoming because it has to happen. We are looking, won't we feel disillusioned when you look at a Nirbhaya and say, my God, took 8 years. We look at this report, took 5 years to come out. We look at this girl in Calcutta and say, what's going to happen? All of us have
Yeah.
this thing, justice has to be served.
Yeah.
Justice has to be served. And then we see that it's getting delayed. The delay is so frustrating for women. Please understand, it's not now. My father is one of the greatest actors in Tamil cinema. Okay.
Yeah.
And he comes from an era where my mother used to tell me stories about what used to happen. And then when I came in the I came in 78, and I have been watching, I have seen so many things from topmost people. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you ask about casting couch, I don't know because I came from a family where I don't know, people used to be very wary of me and they would think twice. But some of them have tried to misbehave with me also.
Yeah.
And yeah. It has happened, and I have dealt with it in my own way. I have given a closure
Mhm.
to it. But we still meet them, we see them, we smile at them, and hello, how are
Yeah.
you? And we go over. We
Yeah.
can't. I mean, life has to go on for us. See, when you come into a job, there are hazards, which I
Yeah.
think the present generation are quite aware of. There are hazards. You need to protect yourself. We need to protect ourselves. And we need to give. Some of the girls are very smart, the present generation especially. They're very smart. They know how to handle it. But there are some women who don't know to voice, don't know how to go on. They need to be called up and said, listen, you have any problem, come here. We will not have your face in public. Most of them don't want their faces to come out. Why aren't they giving voices? They're scared. Oh, tomorrow they might, cut me out.
Yeah. And that's what I was
And
going to ask you, that maybe because you came from a certain background, you didn't have to worry that your work opportunities would be impacted. But a lot of these young women are worried that if they speak up, their professions will be killed,
yeah,
will be nipped in the bud.
jeopardized.
And that is what casting couch actually means. It's a euphemism of for sexual exploitation by the powerful against the less powerful. When you say some people misbehaved with you and you still have to say hello to them in social occasions, how does that make you feel? Do you
I
feel
just feel,
irritated inside?
I keep telling my husband this. You men, he's a hero. Okay. So I said, you men, I use more words, but which I can't tell on camera. I said,
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
you get paid more than me. I have worked harder than you. I have
Yeah.
struggled more than you. I have faced so much, so much, so much. I've had people humiliating, of course, we stand up. Some women stand up. What about the other women?
Yeah.
2 days back, an actress was talking to me, and she was saying, "Ma'am, we're so proud of you. You're voiced out. You're not." I said, "It's not the me. I'm not telling take action on them. I'm saying is let's protect ourselves. I've watched this for so many years. Come on, let's give it a change. We are looking at a Sunita William. We are looking at Kamala Harris, all breaking ceilings, and we are still talking to these idiots. So most of them are idiots.
Yeah.
They have my classic line to all of them is most of them come to cinema to make a quick buck and have a quick buck. That's what I think it boils down to. They think it's
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
easy. And I think it's happening in most of the workplaces. It's
yeah,
happening.
yeah.
When I was doing my popular serial called Chitti, where I portrayed it first time, I was showing a very strong woman.
Mm.
And you won't believe the people, women who came to see me. Educated, empowered, in big doctors, whatever. And I thought they had come to call me for an event or something like that. And I said, please sit down. Yes, what is it you want? We want some help from you. What is it? You're so strong. Like this guy ditched me. He did this to me. He did that to me. I want you to go and stop his wedding. I was so taken aback. I, I said, guys,
Mm.
you're educated. You're in such a you're in such a big job.
Mm.
Go ahead, do
Mm.
your life. You'll meet somebody better. And you might look around. I have gone through that. And I've looked back and said, oh my God, thank God I didn't get into that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
And
Sure.
it is so sad that most of them are my friends, my colleagues, and worked with them. Some dead. They're glorifying the dead fellow. I, it is so, and it just creates a sort of helplessness. I don't like to be called helpless because that's one thing I don't like any woman to say.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we look at them and
So,
we think, so these, all of them are praising these people, talking high of them. And I think it's not me, but I think every woman thinks like that, but won't voice it out.
what's been the toughest thing for you to be a woman all these years?
The toughest thing, you know, uh, is always having to say, don't have preconceived notion about me.
Right.
They all come with a preconceived notion. Okay, she's like
Hmm.
this. They judge me like this. Oh, she's like this. She must be easy. Okay. Oh, she's going to be tough. I used to be such a quiet girl when I came into movies. I came when I was what, 15, 16.
Yeah.
And then as it went on, I realized this is not going to work. I need to be tough.
Mm.
I have another friend of mine, a very close friend of mine, who's a very big actress too. She used to say, we have to change our act. So we became this brazen, like, I lash out at people if they come close to me. And
Yeah.
imagine we have to fight. Can you imagine that our former Chief Minister Jayalalitha had to come out and say, this guy pulled my hand?
Yeah. Yeah. There's nobody who's spared, basically.
There's nobody's pet. So it's not, I don't want to, these colleagues, I tell you, most of these guys, they are scared now. They've got the message. it, this Me Too thing didn't hit South so much, I think, is it happened in Bombay, but it happened in Hollywood where Weinstein was convicted and who died in prison.
Correct.
But then I don't think most of them registered who's Weinstein or whatever. So when it came here, now I think they will think twice. But for that, it should not be a case where it's going to go on for a year, another 2 months, and it's going to die down, and they're all going to find more devious ways of going into it. Now we have to empower these women to say, you don't need to be scared. Come here. We are going to be under closed doors where we will protect you and we will see that action is taken. And I want to, I think these perpetrators need to be punished, really punished, for everyone to understand.
Yeah. Let me ask you a last question. Right now, the focus is on Kerala, right? But there are groups of women speaking up in the Telugu film industry. There's a committee report there. They're saying, please publish it. In the Tamil industry, we've seen Kuti Padmini saying it's also rampant here. There is Chinmay who has been raising her voice also against sexual harassment. What would you say? This is obviously not particular to one state or even to one profession. So,
No, it's
what do
not.
you say? Where do we go? Where do we go from here?
Like I say, we need to, it's like working in an IT company. We see more corporates are coming in now. It's more to have a discipline. We need to have a monitor here. We need to have, people. See, consent between two adults, you and me cannot say anything. That is their wish.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
their private life.
Yes.
And I don't
Yes.
want to get into that.
Yes.
Yes, I know
Yeah.
it could be now no more harassment. They could come in the guise of love. They might say, we love you, my wife is torturing me, give me her. Most of the
Hmm.
men use that line. I've seen
Mm.
that happen. And so,
Mm.
and I keep saying, we really need to have something in place to go forward. And for this, there needs to be a bigger dialogue. There needs to be people to come forward, the actors, the producers, and everyone to sit down and say, let's take this and keep learning. It is going to be a process. It's going to be, yes, let's go. Now, it happens in the corporate world. I'm talking about the television industry, in the corporate
Of
offices.
course. It happens everywhere. It happens in
Yeah,
journalism. It happens in media. It happens everywhere.
yeah, I
But
know.
but let me ask you in the end, what is the most shocking thing? I mean, the fact that you didn't have changing rooms, the fact that nude videos were being made is very shocking. But what is the most shocking thing that you have witnessed in your career that you think people still do not acknowledge?
I think the men are getting away with it.
Hmm.
They're getting away with it. I've seen one big guy was such a serial offender, glorified
Mm-hmm.
actor. You know, these are things which I cannot digest. I really cannot. I really think that's most. And now you have all these YouTubes, they're just sitting there blatantly talking about our personal life.
Yeah.
Blatantly. And I keep thinking, guys, this is worse than raping a person. My
Hmm.
children are reading it.
Hmm.
Somebody's children are reading it. Somebody's wife is reading it. Okay, you can't say there are problems between women also, but at least you are able to handle a woman. We are not able to handle you guys. You're like getting away with it.
And the silence of the men around us, what about that?
It is so disappointing. I don't. I was just telling the other day, there was a F4 car racing happening in Chennai, and all the big actors were tweeting about it. Of course, it is a PR exercise and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that. But guys, just one word from you saying, we are with you. It can be any
Yeah.
woman. And every woman, Barkha, has a story behind her. It could be
Yeah.
hardship for the family because of family circumstances coming to work, because of so many issues they're coming there. There is every story. Just you all talk so much about women, and basically in South, most of them are linked politically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
are worrying. You're talking about the future of Tamil Nadu, guys. This is your own fraternity.
Mm-hmm. And when they speak, they don't seem to empathize with the women. Now, I know Mohanlal may
Not
be your
one
friend,
word
but
has
his
come out from the even whoever has spoken. They have not said we are with you. We are going to have a dialogue with you. Once we recoup, and we will try and sort it out. Not one person
are
has
you
said that.
disappointed? I'm sorry
Yes,
I'm putting you on the mat here, but are you disappointed with the comments you've heard from Mohanlal and Mamooty that Rajnikant refused to take a position? I know I'm putting you in an uncomfortable position here because these are all your colleagues and all your friends possibly, but are you disappointed?
I think your silence, I'm again saying, it'll be misconstrued. Whatever you mean, good, bad, or you're thinking, oh, maybe these women are, sometimes women also play the victim card very highly. They like to just, for the sake of naming, then you're put on the defense mode. I think most of
Mm-hmm.
these actors don't want to go on to the Defense Act. I know how they think. They don't want to be defensive. They want to be, you know, coming out with all the guns blazing.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe not to be put on the defense mode. Oh, will they name me? Will they just say it for the heck of getting publicity? Then, if whether it's a Rajinikanth or anybody, then you're put on a defense. You're like, no, no, this didn't happen to me. She's lying. It happened to the other actor who was pushed.
But it's so difficult for a woman to speak. I'm not saying there'll be no woman who's not trivialized. Of course there are
Why
always
would a
exceptions,
woman
but
come out and say,
why
I was
would
sexually harassed?
exactly,
Why would
exactly,
she come?
exactly,
What does she gain out of
exactly,
it?
exactly,
She's got no work.
exactly.
A talented actor like Parvati didn't get work.
Yeah, yeah,
Chinmay didn't get work. They're also talented,
yeah.
and and a career span in films is not so high. It's only lucky ones like us who have been here for. I've been here for 46 years.
Yeah. No, that's what I was trying to say. That people like to say that women misuse this. I'm saying even if there is 0.1% woman who has misused these laws, 99% women find it very difficult to speak out, and there are consequences, as you mentioned. They're denied work.
And they always woman is in the wrong.
Yeah, correct.
We are only in the wrong.
Now,
I've been watching all the comments, most of the comments, because now since I've been talking, otherwise usually I don't come, and I'm
yeah,
not. I'm very busy with my work, but I'm just watching and they're saying, "Oh, she's a prostitute. That's why she's talking." Guys, that's the worst you can say about
terrible.
me, and I'm used to it. I'm like, yeah, get me a better word or say something better. I would like to listen to that. Yeah.
What would you like to say to younger women before we let you go?
First, when you come into this industry, film industry, which is highly glamorous, which is highly, there's a lot of things happening. You can be misled in so many ways. Today's day and age has changed. When we came in, I think we were lucky. There was no cameras or there was no drugs like that. And um there were people who used to just blatantly come and ask, knock doors, say I will not give work. Like an actress was telling
Mm,
me how this top actor walked into a room and said, "You'll never work in my industry again," because she said no,
mm,
and she never
yeah.
worked.
Wow.
Okay, so all these things, you're aware. There's news
Mm,
and especially this news has been in the headlines for the last 1 week.
yeah.
Not that you're going to miss it, not that you're not going to know about it. You will know about it. So
Yeah.
you really need to be prepared, be more aware, be more careful, and have somebody with you all the time. I know most of the men get offended when we go with somebody.
It's not fair though, no?
It is not fair.
It's not
I'm
fair.
telling you, I come all these years and I keep, my husband said, a lot of people in the industry want to celebrate me because I'm the only actress who has 46 years without a break. I've done more than 350 films as a heroine.
Wow.
I've done
Wow.
4,000 hours in television. I've done, and they keep saying, "Ma'am, we need to celebrate you." I said, "I don't need you guys to come and say I'm a good actress. Thank you very much. I really don't want." My husband, he said, "I'm going to do it." So he organized this big thing. And he said, I said, the day of this function, you won't know. I will just take my bag and go away somewhere. I'll go to London somewhere and you will not see me. I don't want, I really don't like that. I really don't want.
Yeah.
There's no meaning in what they're going to do. Tell me, they're all going to say, "Oh, she's a good actress. She's very bold. She's very tough." I don't want to listen to that. I know I am bold. I know I'm tough. I know I'm a good actress, whatever. Yeah, these things bother me so much. The
Yeah.
hypocrisy bothers me. The hypocrisy.
Yeah.
I studied in Sri Lanka, then I went to London, UK for some time, and I came here. People couldn't handle me for the longest time. The names
Hmm.
they have called me because I put my hand out to say hello, to shake hands.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
simple as that. Because I put my leg on top of my leg, crossed my leg, and sat down.
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, you were disrespecting us."
Crazy. Just crazy. And I'm so glad you said what you said because I think too many women seek validation of others, and it's lovely to hear self praise. I think we all know who we are. We know what's good about us, what we lack, and
I
we
don't
don't
need
really need
anybody to say that.
external. Correct. Thank you, Radhika. I have bugged you to have this conversation with me, but it was so important to hear this. So thank you. And thank you for showing the way to so many young women who will be looking to you for some guidance at this very
100%.
difficult
That is
time
what
for
I'm
them.
trying to do here, Barkha. I have been here. I
Thank
know
you.
nobody's going to act funny with me. Nobody's going to take away my job or whatever. But I'm
Yeah,
saying, because I always tell to all the actors one word: be in charge of your career. Be
correct.
in charge of it.
Abs.
When
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm just have to finish this, is because when I was at a stage when I knew I was going to do a mother, they were going to push me into doing mother roles and character roles where I was going to play a mother to the actors who have, paired with me. I just said, "Sorry,
yeah,
boss, I'm going to make my own thing." And I started television. Everybody said, "You're in the peak of your career, don't do it," but I did it. So
Yeah.
somewhere learn how to empower yourself and not be dependent. Somewhere in films, especially, to get a break, you have to be very lucky. To sustain, you have to be tough and you have to work hard.
Yeah. And these words you just said, be in charge of your career, this is something I think women everywhere need to hear. Be in charge of your career. Thank you, ma'am, so much for talking to us and take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye. It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching